The Ministry of Health affirms that one of the 6 COVID-19 patients in the Sultanate is recovering from the illness. And the Ministry of Health also confirms that the epidemiological surveillance program in the Sultanate is very effective. So the headlines, and now for the news in detail. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Mohammed Al Salmi, Minister of Endowments and Religious Affairs, in a short visit to Egypt, conveyed the condolences and sympathy of His Majesty the Sultan on the death of the former Egyptian President, Mohammed Hosni Mubarak. The Ministry of Health stated that one of 6 people affected by COVID-19 in the Sultanate of Oman has recovered from the illness, while the remaining cases are being monitored and currently in a stable condition. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Saidi, Minister of Health, revealed that around 1,320 passengers arriving from affected countries are being quarantined. His Excellency the Minister of Health also confirmed the effectiveness of epidemiological surveillance programs and the accuracy of the results from the Central Lab in Oman, which is considered a central lab in the Middle East. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Saidi, Minister of Health, chaired a meeting at the Ministry to follow up the developments on the new coronavirus, COVID-19. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Rubai.
His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed bin Ubaida Saidi, Minister of Health, in his meeting at the Minister of Health to follow the developments of the new coronavirus 2019 in the presence of Their Excellencies Minister of Health and the Secretaries, Director General of Health Services throughout the Sultanate's governorates, to follow the new developments of the outbreak of coronavirus at international level as well as the local level, were reviewed, including the number of cases that were recorded inside the Sultanate during the past days.
We've just finished a meeting this morning at the Ministry of Health headquarters regarding the COVID-19 virus. Unfortunately, from yesterday, WHO designated this disease as very serious, spreading worldwide, at the highest level of emergency. The difference between this virus and the previous coronaviruses is the spread is very fast. It is affecting many countries already worldwide. It started, as it is known, in China. As the situation in the Sultanate of Oman, we had 6 positive cases only. All the cases identified traveled to the Republic Islamic of Iran. All of them, their condition is stable, and one of them has completely recovered from the disease. What we are doing is activating our strategic plans for prevention and control of infectious diseases, which were established several years ago. This disease, like many viruses, is dynamic, and we have to adopt our plans, our strategies, our action according to the severity of the cases, the spread of the disease.
The new health status of the registered cases, efforts of domestic and institutional quarantine efforts, and the measures for travelers coming from countries where the disease is widespread were discussed.
What we are asking everybody who is coming from countries affected by this virus, and there are many of them now, to kindly follow the instructions and the information given by healthcare personnel, whether at the airport or through the media. We have quarantined both in houses and also institution. The majority of the persons who are in quarantine now, and the total exceeded 1,300, are at home. And the role of the Ministry of Health and the health centers in the community to contact them on a daily basis to check on their health status, firstly. Secondly, if any person requires hospitalization, they will be transferred to the nearest hospital in their wilayat.
They also reviewed future plans and precautionary measures and stressed the need to strengthen efforts to limit the spread of the disease in the country. During the meeting, the ministry confirmed the support of the various health institutions with equipment and cadres that would enhance their capabilities to deal with the disease. Means of enhancing communication efforts with quarantined people were also discussed. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
The Supervisory Committee of the Labour Market and Employment Lab in its second meeting discussed the efforts exerted by Conciliation and Reconciliation Committees to deal with the workers' disputes and follow up the work progress of the National Programme Initiative for Leadership Development in the Private Sector. The meeting was headed by His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser Al Bekri, Minister of Manpower. Despite the challenges facing the economy and Government of Bahrain in a number of issues, the government still offers support to entrepreneurs. Raft Fund offers young entrepreneurs the financial support they need to start up their own business in Bahraini industrial estate. Statistics show that 65 young entrepreneurs have benefited from the facilities to get their business started by the end of 2019. More than 95% of the businesses in the industrial estate are small and medium enterprises that got exceptional facilities, including low fees for commercial and industrial permits. Entrepreneurs only need to pay 200 Omani Riyals if they require commercial and industrial permits to start up their businesses in Bahraini industrial estate, while in other industrial estates they pay the standard fee of 2,200 Omani Riyals for the commercial permits and 800 Omani Riyals for the industrial permits. Oman Camel Racing Federation concluded the camel beautification competition, which was held in the camel race course in the Wilayah of Musana. The 5-day competition was divided into 6 categories with the participation of over 1,000 camels. The closing ceremony was held under the patronage of His Excellency Sheikh Saad bin Mohammed Al Mardouf Al Saidi, Minister of Sports Affairs. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo arrived in Qatar today to witness the signing of a historic deal with Taliban insurgents that could represent a step towards the end of 18 years of war in Afghanistan. While the agreement paves the way for the United States to gradually withdraw its troops from a conflict that has become America's longest war, many expect that talks to come between the Afghan sides will be far more complicated. The deal will be signed by U.S. Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad and Taliban political chief Mullah Abdul Ghani Bar Adar. U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper meanwhile traveled to Kabul on a visit that officials and experts said was aimed at reassuring the Afghan government about the United States' commitment to the country. Hours before the deal, the Taliban ordered all of its fighters in Afghanistan to refrain from any kind of attack for the happiness of the nation. Foreign ministers and bureaucrats from Pakistan, Indonesia, Uzbekistan and Tajikistan arrived at the venue ahead of today's signing ceremony at the Sheraton Hotel in Doha. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan said today that he had asked President Vladimir Putin for Russia to step aside in Syria and leave Turkey to deal with Syrian government forces alone, after 34 Turkish soldiers were killed this week. Government forces backed by Russian air power have waged a major assault to capture the northwest province of Idlib, part of the last remaining territories held by rebels backed by Turkey. Syrian and Russian warplanes today kept up airstrikes on the Idlib city of Sarkeb. The strategic city sits on a key international roadway and has been a flashpoint of fighting in recent days. 48 pro-Damascus troops had been killed by Turkish strikes in the past 24 hours. With diplomacy sponsored by Ankara and Moscow to ease tensions in tatters, Turkey has come closer than ever to confrontation with Russia on the battlefield. Speaking in Istanbul, Erdogan said he had told Putin in a phone call to stand aside and let Turkey do what is necessary with the Syrian government. He said Turkey does not intend to leave Syria right now. Russia's foreign ministry said today that the two sides agreed in this week's talks to reduce tensions on the ground in Idlib while continuing military action there. The UN envoy for Libya yesterday denounced the near breakdown of a fragile truce between the country's warring sides. The envoy, Ghassan Salameh, was addressing reporters in Geneva following attacks on Libya's capital Tripoli, including the shelling of an airport. Salameh has been mediating three-tiered talks on economic, political and military tracks since an agreement to launch them last month, hoping to end the violence that has plagued Libya since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. Salameh said civilian areas of the capital were shelled, which could amount to war crimes. In April, Khalifa Haftar's forces, which control much of the east, launched an offensive to wrest control off the capital from the UN-backed government. The march on Tripoli resulted in a military stalemate and hundreds of civilian casualties.
A أيها المواطنون الأعزاء، إن الشباب هم ثروة الأمم وموردها الذي لا ينضب، وسواعدها التي تبني هم حاضر الأمة ومستقبلها، وسوف نحرص على الاستماع لهم وتلمس احتياجاتهم واهتماماتهم وتطلعاتهم، ولا شك أنها ستجد العناية التي تستحق.
A conference on continuing medical education, prospects and reproductive genetics was held in the presence of huge numbers of specialized healthcare staff. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai.
Gynecologists, family medicine doctors, IVF specialists and internal medicine doctors from public and private healthcare institutions in the country gathered for a continuous medical professional development event in Muscat, presented by local Omani doctors and international experts from USA and Canada, in the presence of Dr. Mazin Al-Khabouri, Director General of Private Healthcare Institution. The event, organized by Al-Ward Medical Services in collaboration with Oman Society for Obstetrics and Gynecology and Oman Medical Specialty Board, focused on non-invasive prenatal screening in Oman and the availability of genetic tests carried out by a local Omani company, Al-Ward Medical Services.
So today we had our first educational event. We reviewed some of the services we offer as well as some of the applications that are available to clinicians. Now having a crowd full of obstetricians and gynecologists, obviously this is important for reproductive medicine.
This service is within easy reach by all in the Sultanate. Al-Ward Medical Service is the first genetic laboratory that provides specialized molecular genetic services and actionable information for patients, clinicians, and researchers.
Discussing about Al-Ward Medical Services, the first and only private lab in Oman offering genetic services. We focus mostly our services towards reproductive medicine, so we offer a wide array of testing towards that. PGT, prenatal genetic testing for aneuploidy, and as well as additional chromosomal abnormalities. We also test for Mendelian diseases, so that is diseases that segregate within families, and these clinicians can now have access to additional tools to better serve their patients.
The availability of this kind of services close by and the discussions held amongst this specialized medical health care team will indeed help in providing quality specialty health care in the Sultanate. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Excellency, the Minister of Endowments and Religious Affairs, conveys the condolences of His Majesty the Sultan on the death of the former Egyptian President, Mohammed Hosni Mubarak. The Ministry of Health affirms that one of the 6 COVID-19 patients in the Sultanate is recovering from the illness. And the Ministry of Health also confirms that the epidemiological surveillance program in the Sultanate is very effective. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studio, it's good night.
شوف البقاء الصوبين كل شي في حياتي دبل ألعاب ووساخ خبل خالد وحامد عينين نصحى الصبح للإفطار يبدأ صراخ الشطار أيوة الواثق في 2 لما الحياة تهبلني تايد يوقف جنبي عبوة من تايد أنظف من 2 من غيره شقاوة دبل تايد واحد
وإننا ماضون بعون الله على طريق البناء والتنمية، نواصل مسيرة النهضة المباركة كما أراد لها السلطان الراحل رحمه الله، مستشعرين حجم الأمانة وعظمتها، مؤكدين على أن تظل عمان الغاية الأسمى في كل ما نقدم عليه وكل ما نسعى لتحقيقه، داعين كافة أبناء الوطن دون استثناء إلى صون مكتسبات النهضة المباركة والمشاركة الفاعلة في إكمال المسيرة الظافرة، متوكلين على الله عز وجل، راجين عونه وتوفيقه.
يعد فيروس كورونا المستجد سلالة جديدة من فيروسات كورونا، والتي هي فصيلة من الفيروسات واسعة الانتشار المسببة لطائفة من الأمراض تتراوح في شدتها بين نزلات البرد البسيطة والمتلازمة التنفسية الحادة. ما تزال طريقة انتقال الفيروس غير معروفة على وجه التحديد، وتنتقل العدوى بين المرضى والمخالطين لهم عن طريق الاتصال عن قرب والتعرض لرذاذ السعال أو العطس أو ملامسة الأسطح الملوثة به. تشمل الأعراض الحمى والسعال وضيق التنفس والالتهاب الرئوي الحاد الذي قد يتطلب التنفس الاصطناعي ودعم وحدة العناية المركزة. لا يوجد لقاح فاعل إلى الآن، والعلاج المتاح حاليا يعتمد على العلاج الداعم للتعامل مع الأعراض. للوقاية غسل اليدين أو تعقيمهما، تغطية الفم والأنف بالمنديل أو الكوع عند العطس والسعال، تجنب الاتصال المباشر مع من يعاني من أعراض المرض، عدم مشاركة الآخرين لأدواتهم الشخصية. على القادمين من المناطق التي ظهر فيها المرض مراجعة عيادة المطار أو أقرب مركز صحي مع الإفصاح الذاتي عن تاريخ السفر والمخالطين لهم. وينصح بعدم السفر للمناطق التي ظهر بها المرض إلا للضرورة القصوى، مع الحرص على الأخذ بالإجراءات الوقائية. وعيك وقاية.
عطاء الشباب بالبذل والتفاني عزم متوقد بالهمة في بناء عمان. نقترب من تطلعاتهم، أحلامهم، أفكارهم وإنجازاتهم. شبابنا والنهب. يأتيكم في الأوقات التالية.
نريد أن نموت.
هنا لا يوجد موت ما دمت وصلت عند